Hello, everybody. My name is Dialis, and welcome to my channel. Yeah, I said it. I am back. I come to you today with an emotional reaction to RM Tablo, Stop the Rain. I got to get it out before considering and absorbing and contemplating what others will say. So this is going to be an emotional reaction instead of someone's typical reaction. For me, music has always been a reflection of what is either currently happening in my life or memories or thinking of the future. And when you share thoughts and feelings, if your goal is connection, then you can connect by doing that through your music. Really why I love music. I need it to affect me deeply. It doesn't always have to be like an emotional sadness. It can bring joy and elation, but I've always looked within myself. And, BTS's music allows you to heal. That is one of the biggest draws. And the biggest changes and breakthroughs and understanding of one's own feelings is when you're being honest. Just stripped down, just this is me, this is real. I have been doing TikToks on the elder care journey with my dad and getting out those emotions and things that I've done, things that I've learned. It has brought this incredible connection and people together that understand and are going through the same thing and haven't felt heard. When I see what people say, they understand, they connect, I'm like, yes, then I'll use my voice for that. And I'll advocate making sure that people understand that they are not alone in their feelings. That's depression, something that I've dealt with. It is isolating. It takes you away. It makes you think that you're the only person that feels this way. And of course, you're the most horrible person and you're not deserving of things. I said this in a previous video. My intro of why I do this is because when I was sitting across from somebody at a group session who on the outside looked like an adult put together, something I always wanted to be, they were saying all of the things, all of the insecurities and the fears that had been ravaging in my brain. And I was like, wow, I'm not alone. You can also learn compassion and empathy when you are in these settings where you start to connect. And if my voice can do that, great. It's Namjoon's voice that does that for me. Liquid Emotion. I wrote things down so we can stay on topic. First, I want to go into why Namjoon RM from BTS is my bias, the person I connect with the most, the person that has influenced me the most with their music. I love every single one with my heart and soul. Every single one of them. And RM is the one that I've connected with the most. He's a leader. I've been a leader. And I would say difficulty between who you want to be authentically and who you have to be. And what I get from his music and his interviews and what he has said, his letters, I can see that. He's expressed that. I could go on for hours, but we're going to focus on this one song. But those are the main things. I did Right Place, Wrong Person with Maddie. For every song, started to identify in myself the themes and thoughts and feelings. So the first time I listened to Stop the Rain, I was on the light rail going into work, probably not a good idea, because I started crying, of course. And so I wrote my initial emotions, brain dump, when I was on the train, and I will share that. I said, when I was younger, I noticed that every time it seemed I cried, it was raining. I vividly remember sitting at my window, staring out, focusing my eyes on the window screen, then out past onto the street and back again, noticing how the rain was getting caught between the window and the screen. It almost felt like protection, partnership, a way to cope. But I didn't want to cry and deal with all the emotions that crippled me. The bad thoughts and the anxiety. Remember being told that expressing my emotions was too much. People couldn't handle it. So at least with the rain, we would cry together. Then I decided if I didn't cry, maybe I wouldn't notice and just let the rain be rain, because I live in a rainy area. I live in the Pacific Northwest, even though it rains more in New York. Check the numbers. We are not the rainiest place. And I'm very attuned to the rain. I miss it sometimes when we haven't had any in a while, but also getting frustrated, wishing it would stop. It's an interesting love-hate thing with the rain. So as I'm on the train going to work, it's a pretty nice day. But now I wish it was cloudy and rainy so it could protect me while I live in my sadness. Because right now in my life, I'm fighting not to regress into depression coping mechanisms, the ones that damage. I've only listened once. I need to sit down with the words and dive in after work. But this is my initial reaction and emotion. The lyrics may lead me in a different direction, but this is now. I need to explore these emotions, identify them, and release them. Try not to stop it, but let it cry with me to wash it all away. Bearing your soul and emotion can help others. I am seeing it firsthand. The biggest takeaway for me is that it makes me feel better also, just to get it out, release it so it won't weigh me down. I wish I could tell Tablo and RM that if their goal was to touch someone with their music so they didn't feel as weighted down with emotion, it's me. I can be that person. So that was my initial brain dump. And then today, I'm listening over and over and over again. I'm writing down my thoughts and my feelings, and wow, it still kind of goes with that, at least what I am drawing from the music and the lyrics. What I'm seeing is we all go through the same shit, don't we? There really is nothing different as far as a human person goes between Tablo, Namjoon, me, you. We're not alone. We're not alone, no matter who we are, no matter what status we are. We all go through these ups and downs. If anything, it brings them to a even level. Like, I am human, and remember that I am human. Remember that, yes, I may be an idol, I may be a musician, but I'm a human too, and I have some strong emotions just like you do. And so it is so strong for me that that is a message that I've been getting from that. What's interesting too is that when it comes to Tablo, I kick myself for not being an Epik High fan, high schooler a long time ago, because that's my music, that's my jam. Tablo and I are pretty much the same age. We grew up on the same music. You could see that influence in BTS as well. They listen to the same music too. And like I said, I'm just like, damn it, why didn't I listen to his music earlier? Because it is amazing. I've loved going down the Epik High journey. And another thing about how you can really get to know somebody is their music recommendations. And that's what Namjoon, when he shares it on his Instagram, it goes on a playlist so I can connect with those and I can understand. And it's been interesting. But with this song, it was more reflective inward for me with Tablo and more reflective outward for Namjoon. It's interesting. So diving in, there are the lines there about religion. It hit me hard because I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness, a doomsday religion, cult, if you will. And from the jump, I was different. I was restricted in things. I was looked at as odd. How could you believe that? We lived in fear of trying to be the best because there was the 444,000 or 244,000. Some set amount of Jehovah's Witnesses were going to live through the big apocalypse. And I got to a point where I was like, aren't there more than that many Jehovah's Witnesses in the world? I remember when we went witnessing, yes, That's when we came and knocked on your doors. I know, it's horrible. I used to get new dresses and new shoes, new tights, patent leather shoes, and I had to knock on the door. Because who's gonna not open the door to a pretty little girl in a cute little dress? And then that's when they swooped in. Here's a watchtower or an awake. And that's what you call a repressed memory. We stopped being Jehovah's Witnesses when I was 9, and I believe it was because they did not recognize my mom's sister's death, and her death, it hit the family hard. So it was interesting what he was saying about his experience with his religion as I reflected on mine. Like my name of this channel, yeah, I said it, dust in the womb, crushed in the womb. I am adopted, constantly struggle with why I was born. Why couldn't I have not been born? I wouldn't even know that I didn't know emotion. You know? I don't know. I said no a lot of times just now. And what pain were you in where you put me up for adoption? That is a deep, deep, deep hurt. I know people say you should be grateful, you are living, but it is a complicated emotion depending on your adoption story. And it's hard to talk about because there's feelings like this. And so those lines hit me hard. The line also, hate the adults in the room. It reminded me of being an only child, being a Jehovah's Witness, being around adults all the time. I have been running away from adulthood. I just don't want to. I don't want to be an adult because I had to be with adults all the time. And I hated it. I wanted to be a kid. I wanted to be a little girl. I got to be to the best of the abilities of everyone around me. But as an only child, man, I have written down here as well, running away from pain and towards pleasure. I keep hearing that. It's popping up all the time. It's going to sound weird, but the movie Don't Look Up, the character Peter Eshwell, he was telling Leonardo DiCaprio's character about how he runs away from pain and towards pleasure. Then I was watching The White Lotus on HBO season 3, and they were talking to the Buddhist monk. One of his lectures was talking about you cannot always run towards pleasure and away from pain. And goodness, that keeps popping up. So there must be something that the universe is telling me. Am I always running towards pleasure? A line from Coldplay, the song Up and Up, sitting with the poison takes away the pain. There's another one. You have to balance it. You have to stop. Stop running towards pleasure and away from pain. The pain must be there in order for balance. Because the thing is, life is up and down. You're good, you're bad, you're good, you're bad, but you still are moving forward. There is still progression. It may be a different up, a different down. It may be the same up, the same down. But it keeps moving forward. What's the term? You are perfect in your rate of making it through the toughest times. Yeah, I have made it through every single tough time that I've been through. Wow, that's what I got to do is embrace that more. Then we get to Namjoon's part. 27 Club. Don't get me started on the 27 Club. It seems like every generation, knowing what we know about the Korean entertainment industry and the tragedies that happened. And then when he said he was 29, he made it farther, different directions changing, and the lyrics that he's written, how he feels about the struggles between the idol and Namjoon. There's who we are, who we want to be, and who we need to be. I think we saw that a lot with his album. right place, wrong person. I think that those tones were expressed very well. And that album also allowed me to reflect. As he shared his journey, it allowed me to reflect on mine. And that's why being honest and open and community and acknowledgement, and that's where you heal. That's where you can flourish. So this song, as much as it is deeply emotional, it is cathartic, because at the end, you have released. And I love it how Tablo said that he wasn't going to release it because Namjoon's story is Namjoon's story. And that's what I mean about acknowledgement. I'm not going to speak for you. These are your emotions, and you need to be the one to say it's okay to express them. And Namjoon was like, do it. That is such respect. And that's amazing. That's how I wish everybody would treat people. So we'll leave it there. I have intention to do a review with Maddie, and I did need to get this out though first. I'm going to dive in a little bit more, and I get to work through emotions. It's going to be good, and it will help me move forward in this crazy life that be life in. So thank you everybody for listening to me. I really appreciate it. I hope that it helps you connect, and it helps you heal, and it helps you not feel alone. So I'll see you later. Deuces.